So welcome my dears in this very interesting tutorial. Today we will create together and step by step this great restaurant flyer using Photoshop. In this lesson you will learn and master different Photoshop tools. Before we begin, if you don't have the Adobe Photoshop installed in your machine, I place the link in the description below where you can download the last version of Adobe Photoshop for free. And if you have any problem installing the software or applying today's lesson, just leave me a comment and I will reply to help you. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do, go to File, New File, and here we go to Print and we choose A5. We choose the centimeter, and in the width we make 15 centimeter and 21 in the high with 300 in the resolution. So we create a new empty layer and we go to the pen tool here. We will use the pen tool to draw our first layer. Like you can see here, we use the pen tool to create this first layer or first part of our flyer. So we change the color to no color and we edit the points of our shape. We edit this point here and this other one here, we make it a little to the top, we push it a little to the top. Alright, that's fine. And we edit this last point here, we push it, and this one here to the top, also this one here. That's fine. So we continue closing our shape. That's fine. So we give our shape any color you want just to make it visible. We come back to the new layer. We go to this image here. We will use it using the move tool. We move the image and we place it here. We convert it to a smart object and using Ctrl T, holding the Shift key from the keyboard, we resize and we make the image so small to be accurate with our shape. We place it here. So we push the image layer to the top, and using Ctrl T another time, we resize the image to make it accurate with our shape. That's right. So we create a clip and mask, and finally the results is here. We come back to the layer at the bottom, we create a new layer, and using the pen tool another time, we will create another shape. So like you can see here, we edit the first 2 points and we add another point here. We edit it and we edit the shape point to get this inclination, like you can see here. So we will continue pushing and moving the pen points to modify our shape and make it of course the way we want and the way we are satisfied with. So we edit this point here also. We push this one here to the top a little, like you can see. That's fine. Same thing with these points here. We push it a little to the top and the right. So we close our shape. Like you can see here, we close our shape. We give it a color. For example, we will choose like a black color, a black going to gray color, like you can see here. This is the color we will use. So what we are going to do now is, so now we are going to duplicate our layer. So we will duplicate the layer like you can see here. We create a new copy from the layer. And using the move tool, we push it a little to the top and we change the color to white, to the white color. That's fine. We duplicate this new white layer and we come back to the original layer at the bottom, which is in the white color. So we click in this little rectangle and we make the color this like red one, and we click OK, and we get this little red line. So to make it more visible, we will move a little the layer and move, of course, the white layer, the white one here, the white shape. We move it a little and we move another time the red line until we have this very wonderful results. So we go. So now all we have to do is we select the white layer and we go to edit, free transform. We get this free transform window and we go to these points here and we make it very thin here, and we edit it from the bottom and from the left until we are satisfied with the result. I think we have to make it more thin here, so we push it to the top. That's fine. I think now it's fine. So when you are satisfied with the line you get, this red line, we try to make it very realistic and very great, and we click OK now. So we come back to the red shape, this one here, and we go to effects and we will choose gradient overlay, and for the colors we make the normal blending mode. For the colors, for the first color we will choose this one here. You can of course use the color code you will see in this window here. So we will choose this red going to brown color, and in the second one you can see of course the color code we will use here, so you can use it in your workshop or on your design. So for the colors we will choose these two, and for the location we will choose the value 46. For the style we will choose the radial one, and for the angle we will use 20 degree, and we will reverse. So be careful to make the adjustments here like we did, and we click OK, and like you can see we get a very wonderful gradient overlay effect on this line, on this red line. So using the move tool we try to push it a little, so we come back to the layer at the top, we push it with the move tool to make our line. So you try to play with these three layers here, the one with the blue with the gray color at the bottom, the other one in the middle with the gradient overlay, and the third one with the white color. You try to play with them with the move tool until you have a very thin and realistic line at the middle. That's very good now. So we come back to this red layer with the effects. We come back to the top layer. We select these two layers. We try to push them a little to the top. That's fine. We come back to the blue and gray layer. We try to move it a little to the top, like this. I think now it's fine. So we come back to this layer here, and we create an inner shadow effect. This is the adjustment we will use for the inner shadow. It is a second effect we will apply on the red line in the middle of the flyer. It gives us a very good see. So we create a new layer at the top, and we will use an ellipse tool. We will create an ellipse. Like you can see, holding the shift key from the keyboard, you get this very handy ellipse for the color. So for the color, I think we will choose so before using the stroke, we come back to the color of the ellipse of the circle. For the color, we will use this color here. You can copy the color code to use it on your workshop. So we'll use this color here, and we will create an effect, a stroke effect. We will add a white stroke to the circle. So this is the adjustment we will use for the stroke. We click OK. That's fine. So now all we have to do, we will move the circle to this place here, and using Ctrl G, we will create a duplicate copy from the first circle. We move it here, and using Ctrl T from the keyboard, we transform the second circle. We make it a little bigger from the first one. We move it a little to the right. And we make it just a little bigger from the first one, from the original circle. And with the same manner, we create a new copy and a new duplicate circle to the right, and using the Ctrl T, we make it a little more bigger from the one in the center. So we get a level, create a level size. The first at the left, which is the smallest one, the one in the middle, it is a little bigger from the first one, and the last one at the right, which is the most bigger. So we move the three circles. This one also, we move it. So now we will try to select all the three circles at once, using the Ctrl key from the keyboard, of course. So we select the second one and this third one, and using Ctrl T, we resize and we make them more smaller all together, all at one time, and we move them all together to the center of our flyer, like you can see here. Select them and we rotate them using Ctrl T from the keyboard. We rotate the circles a little, like you can see here. We come back and select them all, and we move this first one here to the top, and this original one to the bottom a little. That's fine now. We make the first one a little smaller, the one in the middle a little bigger, and of course the last one at the right. We push the one in the middle a little to the bottom, and we select the last one as the right, and we will make it just a little bigger. So be careful to not exaggerate here. Alright, now it's fine, I think. So now we will select the ellipse, this one here, the first one, and we go to open. We open this image here we will use for this ellipse. That's fine. Using the move tool, we will move this image and we will place just at the top of our first circle here. We convert to a smart object, and using Ctrl T, we will resize it and make it more smaller, holding of course always the shift key from the keyboard. While resizing an image, always hold the shift key from the keyboard to don't disturb it, and we place the image at the top of our circle and right click on the layer, and we use create clip and mask. That's fine. We come back using Ctrl T on the keyboard and we resize it. We make it more smaller to make it accurate with our circle. So we change the dimensions like you can see here. That's fine. So with the same manner, we will select the second circle, which is this one here, and we open the second image we will use, this pizza image. Alright, so using the move tool, another time we move the image and we place it here. And using, of course, like always, convert it to a smart object first, and using Ctrl T from the keyboard, and always be careful to hold in the shift key while resizing an image to make it not lost its dimensions and its quality, to keep its original quality. Although you resize it, you make it smaller or bigger, it keeps its original quality. Right click and create clip and mask like we did earlier. Ctrl T on the image, we make it a little smaller to looks good in our circle. We move it. I think now it's fine. So with the same manner, we will not add anything new. Go to open the third image we will use, this one here. Using the move tool, we move the image like you will see here. We will move the image and place it as the top of our third circle. Convert to a smart object, and using Ctrl T to resize, and always holding the shift key from the keyboard while resizing the image to not lose its original quality and its original dimensions. So we make the image very small, like you can see here. We place it at the top of our third circle and right click on it, and we choose create clip and mask. That's fine. Ctrl T another time and we resize the image like you can see here. Click OK. That's very fine. We create a new layer at the top. So we will use the polygonal tool, and we will use the star. We check the star option from here, and we will create this very handy shape using the polygonal tool and the adjustments or the properties you just see me using. So for the color, we will use the black color. For the color of this shape, we will use the black color. And for the stroke, we will use the red color for the stroke. So we'll use here the red color, that's fine. We will add a little pixels to the stroke to make it more visible. And using the move tool, we will move our shape and place it here. Using Ctrl T another time, we will resize our shape. Ctrl T, we resize our shape like you can see here. We move it to the top of our first circle. That's fine now. So all we have to do now is duplicate this polygonal shape. So what we are going to do now, we make the shape a little smaller. We place it to the top, a little to the top. And using Ctrl G another time, we create a new copy, a duplicate copy from our shape. We move it to the bottom, to the circle, at the top left. We place our polygon shape here. And now we create a text layer. We will use a text layer. So the text we will type is $3.5 with the white color. So we will type like you can see here, $3.5. We will change the font type. I think we will use the impact font, with the white color. We will make the size more smaller so we can add the text to the circle, or to the polygon, to our shape. So we select the text another time. We will make it more smaller, of course. That's fine. We move it using the move tool a little to make it at the center of our polygon. We change the size, we make it a little more smaller. All right. And so now all we have to do, we create another text layer. We will type, for example, free chicken. With free chicken, for example, with legumes or something like this. So we have to select this text and make it, of course, more smaller, so we can add it to our polygon and our shape, our circle shape. So we select the text, we will change the type of font to Arial. We will use the Arial font, the regular Arial font. We will use the option smooth. We will smooth our type or our text, and we will change also the size. We will make it very small so we can put it in our polygon or or in our circle like this. So we select the text another time. We will just add a little pixels to the text. We place it to the middle. That's fine now, I think. We place it to the middle. Alright, we change the type. We try to make it visible, so that's fine. So what we are going to do is select the two layers, the two text layers, and we duplicate them. And using the move tool, we will move them to the polygon or the shape as the bottom. So using the move tool, and when moving objects like this in Photoshop, it is preferable to use the directions keys from the keyboard. They are very comfortable using it in placing or in moving objects or images or shapes in our flyer or in our Photoshop works. So we move the text until we are satisfied with its position. It should be in the center of our polygon. I think now it's fine. So now we will create a second text layer, like you can see here. So we will let the default text, the Lorem Ipsum default text, we will adjust it to the left. Alright, we will change the text color to white. We will change also a little the size. We try to make the text a little bigger, like you can see here. And using the move tool, we place the text. So before that, we will try to select the text. And using the move tool, we will first we select the text and we change the size. And using the move tool, we place it in this place here. I think here it's fine, as the top right of our flyer or our page. So we create another text layer which will contains the title of our paragraph. So we will type restaurant name. We select this phrase and we will change the font type to impact. We will make the size very big, like you can see here, to get a very clear title. So that's fine now. So we position, like you can see, we change the position of our title. So I think we will select it and change the color of the font to red. We will use here the red color for the title font, like you can see here. It's fine. So we select the two layers, the two text layers together, and we position them using the move tool and the direction keys from the keyboard. Alright. So we try to change the type font color to a very hard red color. So now we create a third text layer. This time we will type, for example, discount mount 25%. Alright, so we select these first. We select the Arial type font and the white color for this phrase. And we choose the bold Arial font. So we select the first two words, discount mount, and we will try to make them bigger and a big capital using the option from the text properties. We make the size a little smaller to be accurate, and we move it to the top of our title. So here it's fine, I think. So we select the 25% alone and we make its size more bigger, just the 25% text. So now it's fine, and using the move tool we position the last phrase, the discount mount, to be at the right place, just as the top of our restaurant name title. And so we change the text font size. Using the move tool another time, we position our text just as the top of our restaurant name title. That's fine. We use the zoom and we will add another. We select the discount amount text layer another time. So I think we should change the size a little. And now I will use this barcode from another image. I copy it here and I paste it here in my flyer using Ctrl+T and holding the Shift key. I change the size of this layer. So I make it more smaller, like you can see here. Right. So now I think I have to introduce and insert a rectangle, a white rectangle, to make it the background of this barcode. So for the rectangle, I will choose the white color and I will push it behind as the bottom of our barcode layer. So using Ctrl+T, I make the rectangle more smaller and I place my layer in the center. I try using the position, the move tool. I try to make our barcode layer in the middle, in the center and the middle of our rectangle. So I make another time the rectangle more smaller and I come back to my layer. I position it as the middle, like you can see here. So I position the barcode as the middle of our rectangle layer. So I come back to the rectangle, I will make it more smaller. That's fine now. I come back to my layer, to my barcode layer, and I place it in the middle and the center of our rectangle. So here I think now everything is fine. So I select the two layers together, and using the move tool, I place them, I move them to the place and to the right place I want to. So now we will add another text layer, a new text layer. Like you can see here, we will write the about us parts with the white color. Another time the address. So we will type here the restaurant's information, the address, the phone, the mail, the website, and so on. So we select all the text in the paragraph. We choose the regular Arial font. We make the size more smaller with a white color, like you can notice here. So another time, using the move tool, I place the address and the contact as informations in the right place. So another time I come back and I select the paragraph text. That's fine. So I place it in this place here, for example. I select it another time. So we try now to find the right place to place this text, and also the barcode and the rectangle, which is at the top of our text. So we come back to the layer 5. You have to select the two layers together to position them at once, like you can see here. So in my opinion, these two layers, I should make the text at the top, like you can see here, make the text the first one as the top, and after that I will make the barcode layer and its rectangle which contain it. I will make it as the bottom of our text. I think with this way it will be more accurate and more professional. So for these parts here, I will call it contact as. So I will select it and make the font. I will change the font to the second one I used in this whole flyer, impact one, and I change the size of these contact as text. And for the color, I will choose, like you can we choose the red color. It's fine. I place the contact as more as the top. I push it to the top and I select text here, push it a little. That's fine. And I will move. So be careful to not move the barcode alone. So I will place the barcode into the center of the rectangle, and I will try to move the two layers together, not just one. Alright, so I will place the rectangle So be careful when moving objects. So in this case, we should move the two objects at once. So you have to select them using the Ctrl key from the keyboard, and after that you can move the whole things together. So I push the text a little to the top, and now I will come back to my layer and rectangle. I will push them a little to the right to appears at the top left corner of our flyer. So I try now to move the layer into the rectangle to make it to the center. So now I will copy this, select an ellipse selection from this document here. I will use this logo in my document. That's fine. I make an ellipse or a circle selection. So using Ctrl C, I make a copy, and in my flyer, I will use Ctrl V to paste and to place the copied logo. I convert it first to a smart object, and using Ctrl T, I resize it. And holding, of course, be careful to not forget to hold the Shift key while resizing the object. So the first thing, we are going to make a stroke effect, a white stroke effect on our logo, our layer with the white color. Of course, we create a stroke. This is the first effect we will create. Another time, using Ctrl T and holding the Shift key from the keyboard, we resize our logo. We resize it, we make it very small like you can see here. And now, using the move tool, I will position the logo here, for example. I think it will be better if I place the logo to the right. So I resize it another time, I make it more smaller, and I will place it using the move tool to the right of our flyer. So now I will apply another effect, which is the color overlay. I will apply a color overlay effect. So for the color, I will use the eyedropper and get this color here from our flyer. For the opacity, I will make it very, so I will make the opacity something like 20, 25. It depends, of course, on the color you are using. So for the mode, I will choose the dissolve mode, or I will let the mode normal, and I will make the opacity something like 25, 20, 13. It depends on the color you are using and the logo or the image you are making the color overlay effects on. So I make the opacity 30 or 35. I think now it's fine. For the scale, I make the scale something like 140 or 113. So you can play with the opacity and the scale and all the adjustments here until you are satisfied with the result you are getting. So we are modifying or editing the color overlay effect now. That's fine, we click OK. So now I think the logo is fine. So I make the stroke a little disappear. I think that the first stroke I used was very exaggerated. So now I think everything is fine. So I will add the last text layer. I will choose the Arial font, a bold Arial font. So I will write, for example, perfect food. I think I will type perfect food. So the phrase I will type here is perfect food. So I make the phrase more bigger in the size of the font or the type, of course, and using the move tool I will place it. So here I have an inclination or I have a rotation in our object. So we will try to create a very handy and very wonderful effect on the text. So be careful and be attentive and follow with me how we will do this. So the first thing we will change, we go to here. So we will change the type of text to smooth. So I select the text. I will make it more smaller. So I think perfect substances will be good, or I will type, for example, perfect food. So I go here and I will choose from the style the arc, and here you can play with so many. So I will use the arc in the style, a horizontal arc of course, and you can here change so many adjustments here until you find. So now in our case we try to make the text be in a good position of the effects we already have in these parts of flyer. So we will change the band to -28 and we will make it -34 or 35. I think now it's fine. So if I move now my text to here, I think now it looks better. So I have to add a little rotation, like you can see here. We will add a little rotation to make the text looks at the right position we want it to be. Now it's fine. So I think I will come back here and I think I will add some more bend to -44 or 47. It depends on your text and of course on the area you want to position the text in. So I think we have to add a little more rotation and position the text here, for example. Of course, so now we will rasterize, or I will come back and change the text to perfect food. So I will come back here and I will change perfect substances. I will change the font to impact. I think I will choose impact font. I will add more size and I will change the word substances with food. Like you see here. So perfect food will be more wonderful in our flyer. And I will move it to this part here and to this position here. You can add more rotation or you can adjust the arc. So we will try to adjust the arc a little. Like you can see here, that's fine. For the horizontal distortion, I think it will not be very useful here. And I come back and rasterize. I will rasterize the type and I will add a little rotation from here, from the angles, and I will move the text to the right place. So now I think a little rotation is needed here. And like you can see, I get a very wonderful flyer, a very wonderful result using so many useful techniques from the Adobe Photoshop software. All right, now I think everything is fine. Just a little. I will try to select the text another time. So I will select the perfect text. I will make it black, and I will let the word food with the red color. That's fine. And like you can see here, we get a very wonderful and a very handy results. Using a simple way, we create a little rotation here, and we position our text another time. So this little details makes our works look perfect. So for this reason, we try to be concentrated and very attentive in this kind of adjustments. So like you can see here now, we get a very handy and a very wonderful and professional restaurant flyer. All right. So guys, I wish you enjoy this very useful tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to get the tutorials coming up. If you have any issues installing the software or applying today's lesson, just leave me a comment and I will reply to help you. Thanks for watching, and see you of course in the next tutorials.